Welcome back here to Hallmark Sports Club 2 in Maryville, 8328 Colorado Street, as we continue on with the 21st edition of the Northwest Indiana Soccer Kickoff Classic. Again, special thanks go out to Hallmark Sports Club 2. It's your soccer home for the winter. They operate indoor soccer league for kids, teens, adults from October through April. League registration opens September 15th with leagues starting October 16th, and youth and high school leagues starting November 1st weekend. See the Hallmark Sports Club 2 website for details at www.hallmarksportsclub2eyes.com. Hallmark remains Northwest Indiana's soccer hub through your off-season, so get in here and play at Hallmark Sports Club 2. We've given away already 4 games of tickets for Chicago Fire soccer. We'll have some more trivia for you later on down the road, but now we're going to move to Marquette Catholic High School as we're going to bring on Rob Barron. He's the assistant coach for the Blazers, and Lacey Hersman. And Rob, give us an idea how things are going so far for the Blazers as you move into 2014.
Things are going really well. We're starting to get more and more girls at the practice. We're starting to change things up a little bit, but it's exciting. We've got a really young group that's come in, several freshmen, and we've got some upperclassmen like Emmy over here that's really helping bring the kids along.
Well, your first year coaching at Marquette, you were coaching basketball and soccer since 2008, also volunteer coach over at Portage. How's the experience been so far with you assisting Lacey?
It's different. Kids are older, but the difference is they already know what they're doing. It's like going from teaching them how to walk to actually they know how to walk now. And it's a lot more fun, actually. The girls, the skill level's a lot further along. So it's fun watching the girls when you show them something. They pick it up rather quickly.
How are the numbers there, and how have you been as far as being able to have a JV and also develop some depth on the team as well?
Number standpoint, we've got about 13 to 15 girls out right now. And we think, we were just talking about this, as school starts, we'll probably get a couple more girls that come out. Traditionally they haven't had a JV team in a long time, but we helped to change that in a few years with our numbers, increasing.
Right, and I know Lacey is obviously a veteran of the pitch with soccer, of course, playing down at Center Grove and doing a great job down there with that particular program. And besides the 2 student athletes that have come out here today to represent the program, who else has opened your eyes in the camp so far?
Well, we've got Maggie Cannon, who is a senior this year. She was actually injured all of last year, and from my understanding, she got hurt in the first practice, broke her leg last year. She's really, really eager to come back, and I think she's a little antsy. But we've got Bella Kaplan, who's a returning sophomore. You're going to see some great things from her. And then you've got some incoming freshmen, too, that I think are going to really, really help out. You're going to see Stacy Barron, my daughter, and then Michaela Jennings, too. Are 2 girls that you're going to really see that I think are going to really help Marquette.
So let's talk about father-daughter here and that relationship and how you take the father's cap off and put the coach's cap on, and how that works as far as being able to separate the two.
Well, I just like anything else, I think you have to look at it as, she's a player, I'm a coach. And unfortunately, I think at times, being her father, I'm harder on her than anybody else. So I've got to really change that mindset, and that's why Lacey's the head coach. So she could concentrate on my daughter while I can help out in other areas and help the other girls.
Let's bring on Stacy Barron right now. And Stacy, first year over at Marquette Catholic and the valedictorian of your 8th grade class. Congratulations on that, Stacy, and talk about the importance that academics has for you and the whole scheme of things.
Academics is it's really influenced on my perspective of when I want to be older. It's helped me push myself further with everything, and because at my school we couldn't, and at Marquette we can't play unless we maintain a certain grade point average, so it just helps me to motivate myself to be the best.
And the Eclipse Select Soccer Club, talk about that a little bit, about how that helps you prepare for the high school season.
I've been playing with Eclipse for a long time now, and it's really helped with my foot skills and my shooting and just everything combined as a soccer player. The coach has really influenced me with everything, and he helped push me towards decisions.
What do the coaches have you in the grand scheme of things on the pitch? Do they have you penciled in a particular spot, or are they going to kind of move you around?
I think they have me as a forward, but I can play other spots too, so she was thinking of transferring me to other places.
You comfortable with that, being able to move into different roles? And what would you have to do to make a change, not only physically but from a mental standpoint on that?
I just have to focus on my role and everything that I have to do to help my team to be the greatest it can be.
Well, let's bring on Emily Block, who has also done a terrific job as a multiple sport athlete and an academic all-star for soccer as well. And Emily, how difficult has it been with the numbers? It's a tough situation. You don't have a lot of wiggle room as far as injury out there, and you're kind of the iron ladies out there on the pitch sometime, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a little hard because last year we lost 5 seniors, so it was really hard finding those seniors that could follow with how great those girls had done last year. As for the injuries, we're notorious for playing injured. Sometimes we have girls that have a hard ankle, but we have to push through because, like he said, 13 to 15 girls, you can't really have those injuries and let it affect you. So with those injuries, we just have to push through and keep going and hope that we win the next game.
Last line of defense is a keeper for this Blazer team. What's that like back there when you see the opposing team coming at you, and what goes through your mind as far as the different things you have to do in your responsibilities?
When girls are coming at me, I think I just don't really think about it. The adrenaline hits me that I just have to block that goal and not let them score. So to help my team, I don't really let the girls coming at me really faze me. But, for a little bit, you see how fast these girls are running at you, and for a second you're like, wow, they're really gonna hit me hard. But as for everything else, you can't really let that affect you. And I just go with the flow with it all, so.
Well, you're the goalkeeper for this team, so obviously you got a lot of responsibilities there, but magna cum laude for 3 years, National Honor Society for 3 years, and National Art Honor Society as well, and the Lions Club English Award. You're a senior now. Obviously you have some plans to move on in higher education. Have you thought about that? Have you made any decisions yet?
I've decided that I think I want to go into physical therapy with a minor in athletic training, if that is possible. But then I also have in the back of my mind elementary education. So with everything like that, physical therapy is a really hard major to get into. So you just have to kind of hope for the best and go with. So you have to go with your thoughts. So I have to stick with my academics, and then I do soccer as well.
So goals now for you personally as well as for the team as you head to your senior season?
I just want us to do great and bond as a team because since we have such a young team, I want them to feel welcome and I want them to feel like they belong on our team just as much as I do.
Well, that's a great response by a terrific young lady there, Coach. And how do you see, you haven't really had a chance, I know, to see a lot of the teams in the conference at this particular level, but this group of kids specifically, what are you looking for, especially in the early part of the year with the younger team?
Well, I think early on, I think some of the girls that are coming into it, first comers, just the game speed. Playing against juniors and seniors, there is a difference, and I think it's going to take a couple games for them to catch up and to catch on. But if you were to see how hard they're working in practice and how fast they're picking things up, I think they're going to get it. And then for some of the girls, the freshmen that are playing club ball, I think because they have played club ball, I think they're going to be already at that level and speed. And I don't think there's going to be a huge adjustment or a waiting period. So I'd look for good things this year from Marquette. I think we're going to do really well.
Thanks very much for taking the time, Coach. Give our best to Lacey, and appreciate you guys coming up.
Will do. Thanks.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate the time very much. Again, Stacy Barron along with Emily Block joining us here along with Coach Rob Barron. And again, good luck to Lacey Hersman and the rest of the Marquette Blazers as they move on this particular season. And don't miss your chance to get your fix of live Major League Soccer this year. The Chicago Fire Soccer Club has just 6 home games remaining in the 2014 regular season. You can see the men in red take on Thierry Henry and Tim Cahill's New York Red Bulls this Sunday. That's tomorrow, August the 10th, or against FC Dallas on Saturday, August the 30th. Tickets are available by calling 888-MSL-FIRE or online at chicago-fire.com. The Chicago Fire, live at Toyota Park in Bridgeview. Don't stop living in the red. And thanks again to the Blazers from Marquette High School. We appreciate them coming on with us. We're going to continue on, and we are going to move down to DeMont, and we're going to bring on the boys from Kankakee Valley High School. They're going to be participating in the Northwest Crossroads Conference, again, this particular season under Coach Jason Vanderwood. And again, we want to thank the great folks over here at Hallmark Sports Club 2 for their terrific hospitality. Keep in mind that Hallmark Sports Club 2 is your soccer home for the winter. Hallmark operates indoor soccer leagues for kids, teens, and adults from October through April. League registration opens September 15th, with adult leagues starting October 16th and youth and high school leagues starting on November 1st weekend. See the Hallmark Sports Club 2's website for details at hallmarksportsclub2.com. Hallmark remains Northwest Indiana soccer hub through your off season, so get in here and play. Jason Vanderwood is going to join us here from the Kankakee Valley boys team. And Coach, let us know how things are going so far here this summer.
This has been a new summer for us. We've had some of the lowest numbers as far as turnouts come in quite a few years. So we normally have around 50 or so come out, and this year we're down to 34 coming out. So makes cuts and things a lot easier. But the ones we do have, boy, we're going to have a good team. So.
You got a chance to field a JV, you think, with those
absolutely.
numbers? Or? Okay.
Absolutely. That won't be an issue. So we're really excited about that.
Well, that's good.
It's a good, solid, young group. We still have our veterans, obviously, those that are with us tonight, and returning players. But we got a good, strong group coming up. So.
Last year, a team that right around the 500 mark had 3-3 in the conference, 8-10 overall. A lot of tough losses, 1-goal losses in a few of those particular games. Exciting shootout win against Hobart earlier in the season. So some ups and some downs and a little bit of everything. As you look back on last year and the seniors that you lost, what are some of the things that you're going to miss from that group?
Sure, absolutely. The seniors we lost, we lost 13 again, and that was the second year in a row that we've had double digits of seniors. So out of that group, we had some strong attackers that we're going to lose or that we lost, and again, a core defense that was really pushed us a lot. Tyler Montgomery, he scored. He was our leading scorer up there. As far as guys in the back, we had some strong mids. Derek Tesh, defensively, we were pretty stacked. Michael Vega, Tyler Niehoff, Jordan, all those guys filled those areas really well. And so we're really looking at replacing an entire starting lineup short of Whitfoot. So all new.
How difficult is that, a task? And did some of these kids get an opportunity to understand the level of play that's required in the NWCC?
Sure. To go 3-3 in the conference, our record the last couple of years in the conference has been 2 wins, 4 losses. Mm-hmm. We've been able to beat Hobart, and we've been able to beat Lowell. Last year we pulled off Griffith. We were close with Highland. Went 1-0 with Munster for the first half. So we were right there with a lot of those, even Andre. And so the skill level in the NCC is tough, and these young guys, they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right.
Introduce these 3 young men here and give us your expectations for them coming up in 14.
Here on our far left is Michael Whitfoot. He's starting goalie for us last year. He'll be back in the goal this year. To my right here, Renzo Mera. He'll be playing some forward, possibly a little defense. I know he's excited about that, but where we need him, right? And then to my far right, Cole Rubicki. He's going to be moving up into a midfield position. He filled in for injured Dan Reyes last year and did a heck of a job, and so he's going to be moving into that position again this year and kind of conducting that. So, these guys are going to be my solids right up the middle, and with them doing what they need to do, so they'll be able to distribute and support the plays, and have a couple young, 1 freshman and 1 sophomore that's going to be playing up front for us, and both with with strong feet, both right and left, and they'll be a big threat, and these guys will be the ones that are distributing that ball to them. So
let's bring on Renz right now. Grab the microphone there, Renz. And Renz Elmeyer is going to join us. And Coach talked about the fact he may have you in two different positions during the season. Your thoughts on that, and how are you going to have to prepare yourself to be able to have that flexibility for him?
It's a little iffy, getting new things, but hopefully I surprise him and do a good job back there.
Now, where are you comfortable and where are you not, and what can you do to make that transition?
I think talking to new players is the biggest thing. We don't have a lot of communication back there, but playing with them more and every day, I think that's going to improve a lot.
Yeah, that's something that you can't buy that. That comes just from experience and experiencing things. So last year, as you went through that season, you guys were obviously right on the cusp of having a winning season. What do you see are some of the things that you need to do this year to turn some of those losses into wins for the Cougars?
Confidence, playing together as a team, just keep playing.
Pass the microphone over to Cole Rabicki as well. He's doing a great job, 3.5 in the classroom, a honor roll student, and also a freshman mentor. And Cole, talk about the freshman mentor program and how that helps some of the younger players understand what it's like to be a Cougar.
Oh, yeah, it's a great opportunity to meet some of the freshmen as they come in. I have two soccer players, actually, so it's good to get to know them. I'm going to be playing with them, so it's always nice. Plus, you get to see, with soccer and with freshman mentor, you get to meet people before you have to go to school. Helps, calm the nerves for the first day.
Coach has you penciled in at the midfield, and as they always say in baseball, you got to be strong up the middle, and you certainly have to do that with soccer. And describe to the viewers what it's like being in the midfield, being able to see everything in front of you as you move up the field, including getting the ball up there to your forwards and your strikers.
Oh, yeah, being in the midfield, you got to find your target players, which he said you got a freshman and a sophomore going to be up there this season. Basically, you got to stop plays that the opposing team starts. You got to find other people. You have to support plays. There's a lot of pressure on us.
Michael Whitfoot's going to join us as well. He had 3 shutouts a couple seasons ago and did a great job last year in between the pipes. And, Michael, you talk about the shootouts that happen a lot during conference play. Teams tie and they end up having to go to the extra session to PKs. And how do you prepare for that, not only from a physical standpoint but also mentally as you head into the shootout?
You just got to have strong confidence in yourself. Personally, last year I didn't play in the shootouts. I was injured for middle of the season, 3 or 4 games. Lucas Villapando stepped in, did a great job in them shootouts. But I have faced penalty kicks. You just got to prepare mentally, stay confident, trust your decisions, and your teammates will back you up.
Certain cues that you can follow as far as players' tendencies or things that they do or have a tendency to do, certain body movements?
From the penalty kick standpoint, you just got to kind of read them. Look at their hips, their feet when they line up, if their toes point to the left. I mean, that gives you good observation. They're going to shoot to the left, so just take a lucky jump and hope you get the ball.
Hope for the best, right?
Exactly.
Give us an idea about that back line. You're going to have a lot of new faces back there. They had the depth chart from last year, and there were 6 seniors back there, so there's obviously going to be some big changes. And how are you guys communicating right now?
It's started out slow. It's picking up more throughout the season. We're communicating better. I'm wanting the ball to come back to me more, dropping the ball back to the keeper so I can look for targets like Cole and maybe Renz up front, or even go deeper to our forwards. I mean, I've been working on my goal kick a lot this year. I'm getting it well past half. I can find the players and maybe they can do something up front with the ball, hopefully.
Some keepers are a little bit nervous to get that ball back there. They're going to get rid of it right away. How do you feel about that? And have you had any previous experience in a midfield or a forward position where it's helped you with your foot skills?
A little bit. I've played forward a few times, and that helps a little bit. But even if I'm getting pressured by someone, I can rely on my defense. I can pass it back out too, and they can move it up the line or center the ball or switch fields or whatever they do. whatever they do with it.
Coach, who else is, besides these three young men, have opened your eyes in training camp so far?
I like to talk about freshman and sophomore up front. Robert Poppy playing as a freshman up front. Kyle Kamiga playing as a forward up front too. He's a sophomore. Those guys, they're going to give us the added offensive attack that we need. We'll still be pretty strong through the middle. Like I said, Cole will be in the middle. Have some new guys that we're going to be putting on the sides of him. Defensively, I got a couple returning guys, but those are things we'll work out yet. So really excited about our attack, and Michael's really stepped it up in the goal. Like he said, his goal kicks have improved quite a bit, which gives us the opportunities, and just distributing the ball is going to be huge for us.
Coach, thanks for making the long trip. We appreciate
Absolutely.
it very much, and
Absolutely.
we hope to see you guys during the regular season. I'll be in touch with you about that.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to it.
Jason Vanderwood, the head coach of the Kankakee Valley Cougars, along with Renz, Michael, and Cole, joining us here. We want to thank them for making the long trip up from DeMont Wheatfield area to join us here at Hallmark Sports Club 2. And again, thanks go out to our corporate partner. That's Calumet College of St. Joseph's with the Crimson Wave. They are your university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave athletics. Men's and women's soccer, cross country, volleyball, and CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams will be in full action during the fall season. Follow all 18 Crimson Wave sports throughout the year by going to their website at www.crimsonwaveathletics.com. And the paper there. I'm sorry. Thanks, Ricky. Appreciate it. We're going to bring on the head coach of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Alex Conklin is going to join us. And, Coach, congratulations on a tremendous year last year for the Cougars. No, it wasn't the way that you wanted it to end, but certainly a great job by a very special group of seniors.
Oh, well, thanks, Mike. Thanks for having us. And, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but we can always look back and see that it was one of the best seasons we've ever had at our school, and we can really be proud of that and proud of the things we accomplished, and we can build on that going forward.
Right, and that's been the thing with this with the program over at KV on the girls' side. You've really developed that consistency now, especially competing for conference championships each and every year, and also sectional championships. And what's that been like doing that as you go through your first year now, and maybe a little bit more of a comfort factor for you now as you've had a chance to get a season under your belt?
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of fun to have girls that know how to play and want to be out there and play hard and work hard. So, going into the next year, just knowing everybody who's not new. So last year when I came in, it was like, okay, I know one person that's here. So getting personnel better and looking at, okay, here's what you did last year, what do we think we can go doing forward is so much easier this year than it was in the previous year.
Now, you obviously have things covered in between the pipes as well as midfield-wise with the two student-athletes you brought out here today, but the forward position is going to be obviously the big challenge because you had such great firepower up there last year with Hannah along with Haley. As you take a look at some of the players that got some valuable playing time in those positions last year, who are you looking up to step up and score some goals for the Cougars this year?
We're looking at Kara Gowans to step into one of those positions, Reagan Walther, Riley DeTillo, and then also we could have newcomer Sophie Van Keppel may slide up there. We're still trying to determine those things moving forward, and that might even go into the season of deciding who's going to play where, what's the best fit, what's our best rotation through all those things. So we're really taking a long look at it, and I've told the girls, hey, don't be mad if you don't start or you're going to be playing a little midfield maybe. Don't think of that as a demotion. Just think of we need to find our best situation here. So.
How difficult is it to develop that assassin's mentality with a striker, to have that killer instinct to finish, when there's a 50-50 ball in the box, and to be able to develop that not only from a physical standpoint but just the mental toughness that you need?
It's a challenge, and I think sometimes a younger player doesn't have that quite yet. We do have at least 3 or 4 girls on our team that know how to do that, the ones that I just mentioned, and they're at least there, and then executing it is the tough part. So we've been working on that all summer. We've been trying to develop that with everybody, not just our forwards, but working on shooting and working on fundamentals. And it's really fun when you get to see that happen of taking the ball away from somebody and putting it in the back of the net.
Well, the young lady to my immediate left has certainly done a terrific job for this program in between the pipes, and Mackenzie DeMars. And I would imagine your biggest challenge is to make sure that she stays safe back there, because she is very aggressive when she's coming out intercepting those crosses. Talk about your expectations for her coming into what I can't believe is her senior season this year. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, we're looking for Mackenzie to be a leader in terms of getting everybody organized on the back end, as well as team mentality. We're going to do this. We're going to encourage each other, and she's done a great job of that so far, being one of the leaders in terms of getting younger girls involved, not just in practice, but also socially and things like that. So we're really looking for her to be a leader and play really well, too. She's a good goalie. She knows she's seasoned as well. It's not like we're throwing her in there for 1 year. So she knows the position, and keeping her safe and healthy is a challenge. But we're trying to do some things to make sure she's healthy.
Well, Mackenzie, you're doing a great job in the classroom as well with a 3.8. Congratulations on that. And I would imagine as a keeper, sometimes you got to get away from the game a little bit and kind of chill out. And you're certainly doing it with Pathfinders and with SAD, and as well as being a freshman mentor. Discuss a little bit about some of the other things you do besides soccer to kind of keep you sane as you go through that crazy schedule.
Definitely hanging out with friends, especially soccer friends. It's great to know, like, my players, and we talk about soccer all the time, so it's hard to get away from it sometimes. But just hanging out with my friends is a great way to get away from it sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta have fun.
Exactly, and it's a precious time, that's for sure. And you got 3 of your 4 defenders coming back, which is obviously a comfort for yes. a keeper. Discuss the back line and how you're able to communicate with Abby and both Abbies as well as Sam.
Them 3 in the back, they know how to play the game, which is really comforting to not have, especially you need to have strong players back there. And when we lost Alyssa Cox, it was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? But knowing that they've stepped up to the line and they're ready to play. They're aggressive. They work together as a team. They talk. They know how each other play. They've been playing with each other for years now. So they know how to play the game, which is really comforting for me, not to know that I'm safe sometimes and they know what they're doing.
How comfortable are you now handling the ball a little bit back there? So that's usually a process, too, a maturation process of having the confidence to be able to be literally that 5th defender back there in the defensive third.
Yeah, sometimes it's, stressful, especially one-on-one, or when, they're attacking and they're going to pass it back to you, and where do I kick it? What do I do? It's just one of those things you just have to make that first reaction. You do what you got to do. Do what you do to keep that.
Instinctive,
yeah,
right?
It's really instinctive. You kick it out. I don't know how to describe it. You just got to be a goalie. You'll know.
Ricky Young is going to join us as well. Ricky did a great job on the outside mid last year, and he rated 8th in her class with a 4.2. Congratulations on that, Ricky. And also a multiple sport athlete playing tennis as well as soccer. And discuss a little bit about your role now in the midfield. You lose the 2 central midfield areas for the Cougars this season, and how the midfield is shaping up for you guys.
I think the midfield is shaping up well. We have Haley Cox and Julie Becker. They've stepped in and done a great job. They have really good control of the ball, and I think they'll do great.
Have you been working a little bit on your crosses this year, trying to get those into the middle? And what do you have to do to improve not only on your length of your crosses, but also the accuracy?
Well, we practice them a lot during our practices. We do tons of drills with crossing, so I just work on them as much as I can.
Discuss a little bit about the experience of playing in the postseason in the sectional, the pressure that was involved in playing in such a tight game that could have gone either way, and how you feel like that experience could possibly propel you guys to yet another conference championship and possibly better success in the postseason.
Well, our sectional game was really, really stressful. I was nervous, but I think it helped a lot, and I think we did well. but we could have done better. And I think it just sets our goal higher for this year that we want to win more.
Your senior year, obviously a lot of the younger players looking up to you for leadership from the experience that you've had during your 4 years at Kankakee Valley High School. Are you comfortable in that role? Is it something that you do by example? Are you a vocal leader? What's your comfortable niche in that regard?
I'd say I'm sort of a vocal leader, but all our girls on our team are really nice, and we all get along really well, so it's not hard to be a leader.
That's good to hear, Coach. I know you like that when everybody's playing as a unit and obviously pulling the rope the same direction, no doubt about that. How do you see the conference shaping up? Obviously, you've got great competition with and some new coaches coming in as well into the conference, and you guys always play a very difficult non-conference schedule as well.
Yeah, the conference it's tough. We've got probably, I would think that Munster is always a challenge for us. Coach Val is a very good coach. Griffith had a good season last year, and Wally always has his girls doing some things that are a little different than other teams. They play a 3-5-2, so that's a little different. And then Highland tries to keep you in a close game, and their Coach Gordon there is good, and Andrean and Lowell are both young, but both really good teams last year, even though our score may not indicate that. But we've got a lot of respect for all those teams in our conference, and Hobart, another young team too. So we never know who's going to come out, and we never know, which freshman phenom is going to come out after us and give us the challenge. So we just have to be ready and play our best every Tuesday.
Well, I just want to take the time to publicly acknowledge Doug Greenlee and what he does for the athletic program for both the boys and the girls over at Kankakee Valley High School. Drew Becker and all the people, Nemec and everybody else that just make us feel at home every time we go down to DeMont, Wheatfield area to broadcast soccer. So we want to thank them for everything. Continued success, Coach.
Thanks,
and
Mike.
We'll see you guys down the road. Safe travels to you. Very nice to see you. So Mackenzie joining us here along with Ricky as we continue on. And again, congratulations to the Kankakee Valley Lady Cougars for a terrific season last year. We wish them nothing but continued success in the 2014 season. Again, special thanks to everybody that's called in for our Chicago Fire Trivia contest that we've had throughout the day. And you definitely have to thank J&J's Pizza Shack for all the pizza that they've provided to the student athletes out here throughout the evening. They are located at 1454 West Lincoln Way, 1 mile west of the square in Valparaiso, Indiana. They offer a variety of great tasting pizza, including their famous kitchen sink. Did you have pizza yesterday? Their menu also includes sandwiches, seafood, rib, chicken dinners, and salads. Also, dine-in carry-out available in the local area. For delivery, give J&J's Pizza Shack a call at 476-1616. That's 476-1616. Same menu, still great taste. We are going to move over to Hammond High School, and we are going to bring on Carlos Alvarez. And first of all, Carlos, congratulations to you and your lovely bride and the new family addition. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here again. We got a nice little baby boy. Was born in June. Great addition. Very excited.
Yeah, it's obviously a change in the modus operandi in the household now. Are you able to get a restful night of sleep once in a while so far? Is he sleeping through the night for you?
As of now, no. It's very hard work, waking up in the middle of the night, then going to practice in the evening and all over again. But I wouldn't change it for anything.
No way. After a while, you wonder why you had them out of your life. That's for sure. No doubt about that. Well, season last year that saw you guys right around the 500 mark on the campaign, and some ups and downs. And I know it wasn't the results they were looking for, but take us back to last year and the seniors that you lost from that team, and what you're going to miss from that particular leadership.
Well, yeah. Last year, I believe, Mike. We're undefeated last year.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of the girls' side. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were undefeated. We had high expectations for the season, and everything went according to plan. But, obviously we fell short of our goal in sectionals, losing to Munster 3-2. But, it was a great learning experience for some of the guys, especially Alicio and a few other guys. Unfortunately, we lost, but, you win some, you lose some, so.
Yeah, and I apologize for that, but what a terrific year for you guys. And take us back to that Munster game. You're going up against one of the top programs, not only in Northwest Indiana, but as well as in the state, and the Wildcats were able to stand with them toe-to-toe.
Yeah, I mean, they got some great players there. Obviously, they got a great program, coaching, etc. We could go further into it, but I mean, we went in there expecting them going in hard, fast, physical. We've seen them play before, and I mean, we're just as good as any other kids around the area, I believe, if not better. That's how I go every day, coaching and preaching and telling the kids that we can compete with anybody. Doesn't matter who they are.
One thing you got to be really pleased about is that Marcos Zendejas, Pedro Hernandez, and Abel Garcia have moved on to further either their education or their experiences, as you mentioned with Garcia going to the U.S. Army, and touch base on that situation and how important that is for guys like Alicio to see that at being something that's at the end of the tunnel to shoot for.
Well, yeah, let me correct myself on that. It's not the Army. Abel Garcia is going to the Navy.
Okay. Make sure we get the right branch of service there.
Yeah. I mean, great bunch of kids, beginning with Abel. He knew what he wanted to do with himself right after high school. So, I mean, most of the luck to that kid. I hope, we keep in touch. And as far as Pedro Hernandez, that's Eliseo's brother, great kid, great academic-wise athlete. He got a scholarship to continue his soccer career at Purdue Calumet, and so did his counterpart, Marcos Zendejas, as well. So happy and excited for both of them. Hopefully they fulfill, what they want at that level.
Boy, that's a huge thing for local kids to stay and play local college soccer and have that opportunity to do that, and that's a terrific situation. And let's bring on Alicio Hernandez right now, rated second in his class with a 4.0 GPA, doing a terrific job. First of all, I got to shake your hand for doing that. And all-conference performer as well as in the Great Lakes Athletic Conference. And talk about looking up to Pedro and what he was able to accomplish and how that affected you as a youngster.
That made me real proud, everything, having to look up to that. And then I want to emulate that and even make it better than that.
Undefeated season last year, not only overall but as well as in the conference. What was that like going through that experience and, probably having the bullseye a little bit on you with some of those teams trying to knock off an undefeated team?
Well, it was hard, but we always struggled. We struggled and we always tried, so we always made it through.
The match against Munster, take us back through that experience and being so close to be able to knock off one of the top teams in Northwest Indiana.
It was close and it was intense, but we couldn't always make it. Had to end somewhere.
What did you learn from that experience as far as being able to possibly go further in the postseason this year?
Can never quit. Can never stop.
Just keep trying, right? And keep trying different things. And here's a guy that can obviously teach you to be able to do those particular things. Carlos, besides the young men that you brought here today, who are some of the other guys that you see that are going to be stepping up, and where are we going to see them on the pitch?
Well, returning players, we're still a very young team. Unfortunately, we lost a few good players. They were a core of our team. But we got guys more than capable to fill those shoes. Beginning with Eliseo, Gustavo Lopez, he's a forward, excellent kid. One of the best all-around footwork guys we have. Mm-hmm. Real good. Rafael Garcia, he's a cousin of mine. I got him on the team. Super fast, real good, strong shot. So, and going down the list, Ivan, Saul, my defenders. That's probably where we're the strongest as my defense this year. So it's not really too much of a concern as far as the goalkeeping. So.
Yeah, let's talk about the goalkeeping. Who do you see in there right now? Is it going to be one of these guys, or is it? I know you had a couple other kids there on the roster. Who's going to be between the pipes for the Wildcats?
There's three. There's three guys. The ones with the most experience is obviously Saul Vargas. He played in the third division in Mexico as a goalkeeper. Believe it or not, at the U15s, I think it was, or 14s. And then I got Ivan Romero that played for the Fire. He's also a goalkeeper. And we're training one now. But we really don't need that much talent in between the posts because obviously we need them better on the field. They're better field players. So we're working with a kid named Ezekiel Munoz right now. He's a sophomore. He's doing okay.
Very good. And how do you see the conference shaping up? You guys always have great competition with Clark, one of the top programs in the area that always give you guys a battle in the GLAC.
Yeah, fortunate for us and unfortunate for them. The tables have turned as far as who's more of a, not to say powerhouse or not, but now, I mean, it's our time right now. Total respect for the coaches there and the players. I'm up for the sportsmanship and all that good stuff. But, they're going to give us a little bit of run for our money. They always do, since it's a rivalry game. That's what they call it, and it's conference. So it's going to be okay. But at the end, I'm more than confident with my kids that.
What are your expectations for this young man for this year? How do you see him as he heads into more of a leadership role for you?
Well, I gave it to him early. I gave it to him last year. I didn't give him an option. I just handed it to him. So he's coped with it, but he's still got some learning to do. But hopefully this year he steps up even more in that role and helps the younger guys, even the older guys, to step their game up,
Sophomore, laying that on you there, Alicio. Discuss that situation. Coach obviously knows that you can handle it, or else he wouldn't give it to you. And your reaction to being able to better that your junior year.
Well, he knew that I could do better and everything, and I could get better, and that I could control the whole team because, I'm really good, and they just think that.
They look up to you, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that a coach wouldn't expect you to do that if he didn't know you could handle it, that's for sure. Any other surprises that you've seen in training camp, people that have really stepped up and opened your eyes, Coach, that you would like to mention here?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have this kid. Unfortunately, he's a senior, and he'll be graduating this year after the season, but his name is Julian Gonzalez. He's been trying to jump on board since, I believe, his sophomore year, but unfortunately his parents decided not to let him go to the school. He went to a public school. So now he finally convinced them, and he's playing with us. He's more than thrilled. Great kid, one of the better defenders I have, and he's going to be, pretty a rock-solid kid back there.
Well, congratulations on that. Great to have him in the program, and you've got some good challenges coming up on the schedule, Coach, with some road games, as we talked about, and then that sectional over at Munster again. And want to thank you for taking the time. Again, congratulations on the new family member, and best of luck to you and the Wildcats in 2014.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for having us again.
Carlos Alvarez, Alicio Hernandez joining us here. We're going to keep it in Hammond, and we're going to bring on the girls' head coach here as Myra is going to join us and talk a little bit about Lady Wildcat soccer over here. Myra Rodriguez Alvarez, now in her 6th season with the Hammond High program, assisted by Eric Figge. And back-to-back conference championships for Coach Rodriguez Alvarez and the Wildcat program. So congratulations to them for that particular accomplishment. And again, we want to thank J&J's Pizza Shack for coming on board with us as a corporate partner and helping feed the student-athletes throughout the afternoon and evening here in our little 8-hour marathon. And let's bring on Myra Rodriguez Alvarez. And, Coach, first of all, as I talked to Carlos before, congratulations on the new addition to the family. And
thank you.
Hopefully you're getting a little bit of sleep.
I actually got used to, surviving without sleep now, so, it is what it is. But I'm not, I'm looking forward to it in about a year, so I've already calculated it. Yeah.
And now you're also getting involved with some futuristic plans as far as academics are concerned, as you're now in law school as well. So touch base on that experience and trying to further your career as well.
Well, I'm going into my 2nd year of law school, and I'm very excited. Actually, the baby kind of came as a surprise, but so I was pregnant my entire first year of law school, and the first year of law school is the most difficult, and that's when people break down and start crying, and I had that on top of the fact that I was, super pregnant. In my last finals, I was actually 9 months pregnant. I was like 2 weeks away from giving birth, and everybody was freaked out that I was going to give birth during our finals, but I didn't. I made it through, and I actually got the best grades out those last finals out of the whole year. So that was exciting.
Well, congratulations
Yeah.
on that and being able to juggle all that as you move on to the 7th year now as the head coach of the Hammond High Wildcats. And leading scorer and captain, Alondra Munoz, moving on to the U.S. Army. That's obviously a huge loss for the program, not only on the field, but her leadership as well.
Yes, definitely. We're going to miss Alondra. Alondra was always very shy. She wasn't very vocal, but she did set a very good example for all of the girls. She was always very determined. She was always a role model to look up to as far as being punctual, and she was always very, very dedicated. So she leaves behind actually a legacy of the Munozes. The Munozes, they were always very dedicated, very humble people, very hardworking, and so we'll miss having a Munoz around. So she was my last one, and she just got shipped off to basic. So we had a little thing for her, and we're very excited for her that she moved into something that we never thought she was going to go into the Army, because like I said, she was super shy. But I will miss her on the field. Right now we've been trying to practice because she was always the gunner for the corner kicks. So she mostly scored her top goals during corner kicks. So we're trying to see who's going to be our gunner this year for that. We're still trying to find her.
Well, we'll certainly pray for her safety and well-being as she moves on into the service area. And how big was the year 2 years ago for your program as far as getting the youth of the program excited about girls soccer and about the program?
2 years ago, we had an incredible season. We were undefeated. That's when I started, people started noticing who we were. And, the middle schoolers at Eggers, which is the school that's closer to Hammond High, they have the decision either to go to Hammond High or now in the area is the charter school Hast. So, they see that our program is better. Obviously we can't recruit them, but just, what we did with being undefeated and, the program where it's come from, they see that and they want to be part of Hammond High. And, another thing is that Hammond High is changing a lot. Hammond High in academics, even though the area schools are graded low, there's nothing really we could do about that. It's just set up a weird way. It's all, I won't go into that. That's for another show. But, we do have a new administration, and they are all about athletics. They know and they understand that athletics are what drives academics, actually. Mm-hmm. So we're so excited that we have this principal that she's like, I know that, athletics will change a school. So she's all about supporting us and helping us out, which we really didn't have that too much in the past. The previous principal, she tried, but her focus had to be academics. So now she's like, no, I'm focusing on athletics. So we're excited for that. So, a lot of people are seeing that, and hopefully we get better players. I know this year I do have an incoming freshman who's really good. She's going to be in the back. Her name's Katerine Vargas. So, and she had the decision. She could have gone off to Haas as well, but she decided to come to Hammond High because she knows the program is, gone very well and done good things and good recognition for her cousin, Elizabeth Navarro. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Introduce the two student athletes that you brought out here today and your expectations and why you choose them to represent the program.
Well, I have on my right Destiny Flores, who is going to be a junior, and then I have on my left Miriam Martinez, who's also going to be a junior. Both of them bring to me, Miriam, she's my goalkeeper, and Destiny is my forward. So I decided to bring different positions that I brought. I've always brought you mids. So here's my forward now. She's just coming off of an injury. She broke her leg in the summer. But Destiny I've watched her grow from a very timid freshman. She approached me and, she joined soccer because her mother said that she wanted to have an outlet to go to because she just was very, very shy and bullied a lot in middle school. So I brought her in and, always very, timid, never really wanted to talk. And now she's very outspoken. She's what we call our preacher of the team. She leads us in prayer. She gives us motivational speeches. She's actually president of her class now. So, she's very, very grown into a huge, huge role on the team. And as far as Miriam, I watched her grow as well from, not wanting to dive too much to, that's all she does now. She's got her knees all banged up. We're working on that right now. But, she's definitely shown to be a leader and a motivational person. Both of them are very motivational during practices, which is what I like. You know, we're all about motivation and positive stuff. So
Destiny Flores is going to join us, doing a great job in the classroom as well, rated 21st in her class with a 4.0 GPA. And Destiny, first of all, talk about your health, about coming back from the injury, and where you're at as far as your conditioning heading into your junior year.
Well, I got my cast off about a month ago, so I'll be going into physical therapy, working through my leg, getting it back to where I can start running and playing. So it's been pretty rough because I haven't been able to do too much practice. And it's hard because I love to play, but I'll be coming back soon. And
what's the most difficult thing, the physical part, the mental part, or both in the combination for you?
well, when I broke my leg, I already knew it would be hard. So I had the mental down, and I was preparing myself. So it's mostly really the physical, because you can't do what you know you could do.
Right.
But I'm hanging in there mentally, and I'll be back.
What's been the biggest transformation for you? Coach has talked about these big changes in your personality and being able to be more confident. What has been the cause of that, as you've been able to be a little bit more of a vocal leader on this team?
Well, coming into high school, I figured I always played a little bit of soccer when I was younger, and then I figured I should play in school and start getting used to the social thing. So going on to the team made me be able to be more sociable, and I didn't really like to talk to people, so being around all the girls really made me better, and now I'm able to stick up for myself and be who I want to be.
Outstanding. That's a terrific testament to athletics that you talked about before. And Miriam Martinez is going to join us as well. She's a multiple sport athlete at Hammond High, also playing basketball as well as softball. And Miriam, how does playing all the different sports help you in soccer and keep your game sharp on the pitch?
It helps me stay fit for soccer. It keeps me motivated to keep my grades up. It helps me out so I can socialize and experiment new things in case, like, for basketball, it helps me think more, like running, socializing, passing the ball, learning new people, and it's really fun trying new sports.
Now, you were a freshman when they had that magical season a couple years ago. What effect did that have on you as far as your development of soccer?
That I wanted to work hard and to stay undefeated. It just really motivated me a lot to keep it going and going. And I've actually been trying to do better these past years. I have this year and next year, and I really want to do really great this year so I can leave something, and then for senior year leave something more, so they see that she did good, she tried, that she actually wanted something out of this, and that's what I really do.
Where does Coach have you exactly put in as far as the pitch plans, or is she going to be kind of moving you around?
It's
just in goal.
Yeah, just in goal.
Just
right
in
now.
goal. That's it. That's where you're going to be. You'll be the last line of defense, huh?
Yes.
Your feelings about that, about being entrusted in a very important position on the team?
It's kind of stressful, but then we talk it out, and it helps me out when we're all together, because I'm able to they be like, oh, you're doing fine. It's just breathe. We have all of us around you, and it actually helps out a lot. I feel really relaxed during half times with the pep talks. It just cools me down knowing that I have all my trust in my forwards, midfield, defense. It really helped me out so much.
Well, great young ladies that you brought out here today with you, Coach. Again, continued success with the law school as well as with the family, and continued success on the pitch as well with Hammond High.
Okay, thank you. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there. Hopefully,
Yep.
We'll see you in sectionals. We're looking.
We are working with the folks that you gave us, and we'll keep you posted on that.
All right,
that's
sounds
for sure.
great. Well,
Thanks,
thank
Myra.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
it
you,
very
Mike.
much. Thanks again to the Hammond High girls for taking the time to come out here this evening at the Hallmark Sports Club 2 here in Maryville. And we want to thank Myra as well as Carlos for their terrific support of what we do for the student athletes over there, not only on RRSN.com, but hopefully on WJOB 1230 AM. And again, special thanks go out to Scott Hankins, Jason Condera, and the folks here over at Hallmark Sports Club 2 in Maryville. Want to thank them for their terrific support. Also, J&J's Pizza Shack as well in Valparaiso for providing food for the student athletes, and Calumet College of St. Joseph's also doing a great job as well for helping us with our corporate partnership, and also the Chicago Fire as well, providing the tickets that we gave away throughout the evening. As we move on now to Lowell High School, we're going to bring on the Red Devils, and Aaron Gavelic is going to join us here. And Coach, great to see you again, and give us an idea how the summer's been treating you and the team.
Summer's been going great so far. They all have come back out really strong. Everybody's been working really hard, and they all seem to be having a good time, so I'm feeling really good about where we're at so far for this season.
Sounds like the numbers are good, and you got an opportunity to do a little bit of scrimmaging. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's been great. We've had a really good turnout. A lot of girls have come back, and we have pretty much all of our returning players. We had a very small senior class last year, so we didn't really lose anyone. We've had a couple opportunities for scrimmage games, and they have just stepped up and been challenging teams and looking really good, especially so early on. So
the difference between last year and this year just got to be night and day for you as far as that goes. Discuss the mental aspect of the game going into this year, having those players that have already been through the wars of a conference schedule, and the fact that you don't really have to start from square one.
Yeah, it's been great. Actually, last year was kind of unique for us because I came in as a coach very late, so it was a little bit rough getting started with everybody. So it's nice this summer having been around them and knowing the girls and having an idea of how they play and getting to actually work with them for the entire summer. And they're like, I have Abby and Haley here, and both of them they're very familiar with this. They know how to step up and lead and work really hard for all of our conference games, and I'm really excited about what they're going to bring this season.
So besides these two young ladies that you brought out representing the program, who else has opened your eyes here in training that's going to play prominent roles for the Red Devils in 2014?
We have a lot of girls. Honestly, I could list half the team. I mean, our keeper, Becca Kuhn, was a freshman last year. She did a phenomenal job. She's looking just as good this year. I think she'll have some great things going on. We have Melissa McBride, and she's played defense for us. She's always a very strong player, very reliable, knows how to work hard and get things done back there. I mean, I could go on and on with it, but those are two of ours that are very particular. We've had a really great freshman class come in particular Kiana Chandler. She's stepped up really nicely. She's, I think, going to be a very big force for us.
And not a lot of losses from graduation, obviously, so that's a positive for you. And have you been able to do a lot of scrimmaging? Have the numbers been enough where you've been able to do a lot of 11v11 and really kind of analyze? And how has that helped you so far as you head towards the season opener?
Yeah, we've had great numbers. So we've been able to do scrimmages in our own practices. We've been able to get out and play against some teams in the area and people who are in our conference events to kind of get an idea of what's going on with that. They've done a great job. They've really been challenging themselves to work hard and to try new things and to step up into a new formation and make sure that they're working on understanding. And really, we've been putting a lot of focus this year on learning how to attack with all of our players rather than just a few.
Now, a lot of former coaches are terrific, were terrific players during their time in high school. You're obviously no exception to that, but how difficult is it sometimes when things are not quite going the way that you want and, trying to kind of take off the coach's hat and put yourself in the position of a student athlete?
It's a little rough sometimes. Sometimes there's nothing more you want than to be able to jump out there and just play and be like, this is what we're talking about here. But honestly, there's not too often that I have to do that. They're all very reliable, and they're all very strong players. They know how to step up in their own right. But the hardest part is just recognizing that this isn't about my experience and knowing that they have a different experience happening, and I need to adjust my expectations and what I'm looking for them to do to how they play.
Let's introduce the two young ladies here and let us know why you had them come here to represent the Lowell girls soccer program and your expectations for them this year.
So I have Haley Farmer and Abby Gross here. They're both juniors this year, both very strong players. Haley plays up top for us. Abby's a center mid. Abby's been through the ringer. She's played every role with us last year, so she's finally settling into a role that's pretty steady for her, and she's doing a great job so far. And Haley's always been incredibly reliable up top. She's there, and she knows how to. She's the best at taking the ball to the keeper and never backing down. So they're both ones that just every time they're on the field, they're making an impact. You never have any time where you don't notice them.
Pick up the microphone there, Abby, and join us here. Abby Gross is going to join us. First team all-conference in track So we know that she's got the she's in shape, that's for sure, for soccer. Most improved both as well in soccer as well as a regional qualifier. And Abby, let's talk a little bit about assuming all those different roles on the team and having to go through that experience and now being settled in at offensive mid. And I would imagine that's a very it's a nice situation now to kind of know where you're going to be.
Yeah, it's a nice situation because I went from playing like all over and not knowing what to do in some situations, and it just made me get like a better lookout like on the field and know like how different players are and like their struggles, and yeah, it made me get a better feel of the game.
The offensive mid position, I've talked to a lot of players that were strikers in the past, which of course Haley is now, but is it kind of neat when you're an offensive mid because you kind of get an idea to kind of see everything as it's unfolding in front of you as you're heading up the field?
Yeah, it's a different like look, and you can see like all the open space that you can pass to, and you can see your players better, and it's just nice to like play and with like in that position. So.
And you're going to be feeding the ball up here to this young lady to my immediate left. Have you guys played together a long time? And
yeah.
Has it been a situation where you kind of know where each other is, or do you have to practice those particular situations?
Most of the time we do know like where each other is at, but sometimes we do have to call and like, or when she's working up top and she gets stuck, then I have to call for like a drop back. But usually we do know where each other is at on the field. So.
Let's bring on the striker right now. Haley Farmer is going to join us. 3.9 GPA, also a multiple sport athlete as well. How does participating in track help you with soccer?
Track has helped me immensely in soccer with conditioning. I would be so out of shape if I didn't do track or some kind of sport year-round, so it helps a lot.
Talk about this team. Coach is pretty excited about the fact you got a lot of student athletes coming back, and how do you see the Red Devils shaping up this year?
I think this is going to be our year, actually. I think a lot of players have played club, and we're very comfortable playing together now, and I feel like the new freshmen really are going to add up.
How has the club helped you with the Tigers as well as with the Magic to prepare for the high school season?
Club has taught me so much. It's taught me how completely different, like a completely different view on soccer. It shows me so much, and I feel like everyone should do club. Like if you are strong, like if you're a strong player and you feel like that you can benefit from it, you should definitely do it because it helps so much.
How is it being the marked person up top now? You're going to have some of the area's top stoppers that are going to be trying to keep you from scoring out there. And are you prepared not only for that from a physical standpoint, but the mental grind as well this season?
I think I'm prepared. I think I'm used to being against really big, huge stoppers, so I don't know. I feel like we're ready.
This junior class is obviously pretty special to have two juniors come and represent the program. It's mostly coaches will bring on seniors to do that. So talk about your junior class, obviously a very special group of kids.
Our junior class is very good. We've played together for years, and I feel like we work very, very well together.
What do you define as success this season for Haley Farmer?
Success for me is doing my best I can in every game and helping my teammates do the best they can too.
You got to love that response, Coach.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The conference obviously has its challenges, as it always does every year. How do you see things shaping up in the NWCC?
I feel good about this year. I think we often get overlooked in our conference, and with the group of girls I have this year, I think that is something that we're going to be able to surprise a lot of teams. I think we're going to show up and shake things up a lot.
What do you think is the difference? You're right around a little bit below the 500 mark last year, a lot of close matches. What can get you over the hump in those games and make it a winning season for the Red Devils?
I think this year there's a lot more familiarity in general with this team, the girls with each other, with us, and the program in general seems to be running really well so far. I think there was just a lot of changes that happened last year, and we're starting to really settle into a groove and figure out what works for us and what we need to be doing, and I think they're going to have a very successful year.
Well, congratulations on the turnout, and especially with the younger players now coming as part of the program, and that's a testament to your hard work and what you've done to change the mindset over there, and continued success.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Coach. Thanks, Haley.
Thanks,
Abby. We appreciate it very much. As the Little Red Devils have joined us, Aaron Gavalik, the head coach of the Red Devils, and they will be in competition in the conference coming up. They are going to be at the Jamboree over at Munster, and then they're going to be hosting Hammond Clark to start the season on August the 19th. for the Lowell Red Devils as they move on into the NWCC. Again, thanks very much to J&J's Pizza Shack for supplying the food to the student-athletes throughout the day here at Hallmark Sports Club 2. Thanks to Scott and Jason for their hospitality. And also thanks as well go out to Calumet College of St. Joseph's. You can check them out on the web at ccsj.edu. They have the lowest tuition of any private college in Indiana, offering traditional programs with flexible class schedules, and they also offer accelerated programs to help adults earn their bachelor's degree in as little as 12 months, master's programs specifically designed for working adults. Some classes are also offered at the University Center in Portage. Make CCSJ your university of choice. For more information, call 219-473-4215 or check them out on the web at ccsj.edu. We'll move down to Cedar Lake, Indiana right now. We're going to bring on Coach Jim Pattison and the Wildcats from Hanover Central High School. And, Coach, welcome to the program, and give us an idea how the preseason conditioning is going.
It's going pretty good right now. We've had a good summer.
Thank you.
We had a lot of girls come out this summer again, which was pleasant. So they're kind of ahead of the game, hopefully. We ran the mile today. So that was good, and then we ran an 800, and they're probably a little sore. So am I, because I ran it with them. I make them a deal that if I come in the top 5, we're going to run the 800. And if I come in the top 3, we're going to run another 400. So pleasantly this year, they challenged me. So I think this year we got a lot of good young talent, so everything looks good. Conditioning-wise, we're getting there. I think we got a little ways to go, but I think there's a lot of teams right now in the same boat as us. So that's part of rushing into an early soccer season, which we all know, and a bunch of games right off the bat. So we got to be patient. But our numbers are good, and I think we're a little deeper. So we got people that can actually fill some spots if we do have an incident, if someone needs to come out early on in the season. I know these two sitting next to you won't want to. They'll never tell me they want to come out, but sometimes I know when they got to come out.
4 times as many wins as losses in your career over there, 59-15. What's been the motivation for success there, and the constant thread that's helped you get that community excited about soccer and being successful on the pitch?
Yeah, I've been very lucky to have great senior leadership, and I got a great senior leadership again this year, and that it filters down. They are good, responsible leaders to their freshman class, and by the time they come in, when Melissa was a freshman, her senior class, they were so good that it led right to her. So now she's going to carry it on to the incoming freshmen that we got this year. Brooke, her freshman year, same thing. We expect a lot of our incoming freshmen. If they're good enough to play in that varsity team, then they better show it. And I've never scored 1 goal or made 1 save. It's all been those girls sitting next to you, or that girls out there, those 11 girls on the field. So we've been very fortunate to have very athletic girls and a great drive. They want to be good. They want to win conference. They want to win sectionals every year. That's their goal. And they don't look too far ahead. They never look ahead of the first team that they're going to play. They know that Rensselaer is that first game on the season. Well, actually, this year we got invited to the Andrean Jamboree, which was really nice. So we're going to have a little bit of action before the season starts, which is good. We'll get some playing time, see where girls fit and stuff like that. But we've always been fortunate that we don't look past that next game, and then we prepare for sectionals, we prepare for that conference championship, so when it comes time that we can actually be a threat.
We're going to bring on Melissa Balkema right now. She's a co-offensive player of the year, all-conference selection the last couple seasons, as well as a rookie of the year back in 2011. And Coach had some big praise for you going through the program, and now you're a senior. Talk about that responsibility of now doing what the seniors did for you when you were a freshman.
Being a senior now, I have huge responsibility. We've been working our players and moving from, I used to be a stopper as defensive, so I can help them and help them adjust to their position And now as I'm a forward, and I can work with the offensive players as well, and I've been adjusting as myself and helping myself improve, but I've also helped the whole entire team.
Now that's a huge adjustment. I mean, you're going from one side of the field all the way to the top now, and kind of changing your mindset from keeping the other team from scoring now to doing the damage on your own end. How difficult has that been for you, not only from a mental aspect but also some of the skill sets that you've had to employ?
At first it was a little bit harder than I thought, but I've actually adjusted quite well. It's different being like that. You'll get the ball passed to you instead of always having to send it up or keep the ball from touching the ground or getting back to your back line, or you're keeping away from the goalie. But I've made some adjustments, and I've been working to improve my skill set, and I've been doing good with my touches and everything. So I've made a good adjustment, and I love being a forward now.
You get your name in the paper maybe a little bit more, right? Maybe scoring a goal or two. That's kind of a cool thing. Absolutely. Who's opened up your eyes in the preseason besides Brooke over here? That your classmates that said, "Wow, that's a pretty good move for a young player in the organization."
We have some pretty good freshmen that have stepped up, and I know that they're going to work hard, and they've been working really hard in the preseason to hopefully get earn their spots on maybe the varsity team. But we have a few, Lexi and Christina. They've really stepped up, and I can see that they really want to be part of the varsity team. But I know that they have quite opened our eyes.
Brooke Sturkowitz is going to join us as well, rated 46 in her class with a 3.8 grade point average. And like many athletes at Hanover Central, Brooke, you're a multiple sport athlete, also playing basketball. And what's that like to be able to move from one sport to the other and keep active?
Well, since I've been playing so many years, it's kind of an easy transition because it's twisting and turning for both sports.
It is, and co-offensive player of the year as well as rookie of the year, and also doing a great job on the hardwood, but also doing a great job in the classroom. Honors, pre-calculus, AP Bio, as well as honors English and also academic letter as well. Talk about the balancing act. Coach has a lot of expectations for you on the pitch, and I'm sure your teachers do in the classroom as well. So talk about that juggling act.
Well, on the bus rides, we usually study together like our classmates. And then we also have the older people who have already taken the classes, and they help us out with the school.
And Coach talked about your freshman year, looking up to those seniors when you were a youngster. Talk about the reversal of the role now. Coach has selected you to be a representative for the program, and how you're going to be able to pass that on now to the freshmen and sophomores that are below you right now.
Well, I had great leaders as a freshman, so they welcomed me to the team, so I feel like I need to welcome the younger people as well.
What's it been like for you as well as Melissa and the rest of the student athletes to be a part of the conference now with the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference? You develop some rivalries within that conference, and also gives you an opportunity to compete for conference championship as well as conference honors. What's that been like for the student athletes at Hanover Central?
Well, there's many really good teams in the conference, so we just have to take one game at a time and see how we go from there.
Well, Coach, they certainly represent the program very well. How do you see the Northwest Indiana Soccer Conference as well as your non-conference schedule shaping up this year?
Well, I think this year there's going to be several teams challenging for that conference championship. You know, Wheeler's going to be Wheeler. They're going to be good. I don't think they lost too many. Boone Grove, you know, Chad's going to put a good group together. Mm-hmm. Rensselaer surprised a lot of people last year, so Rensselaer is going to be tough. So there's really, it's a toss-up this year. I know we're going to be good, and we're going to go out and prove it, you know, but we're a little young. But I know Wheeler is going to still be a strong team. I'm sure that they've been working and putting the work in just like everybody else. I got a lot of faith in these two girls in front of me. You know, last year they were really kind of rookies up front. Because Brooke, when she was a freshman, she played more of an outside mid position because we had Riley Singleton with her ACL tear. So she really didn't get a full year up front until last year. And Melissa, we transitioned her, like you said. We made a transition from a defensive stopper position, which was all over the place, to playing a forward position where she had to stay on side.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning of the year, they kicked a lot of goals over the top and to the side and over the top. And I would tell them it doesn't have to go through the back of the net. It just needs to cross that line. That's it. So once they settled down, their numbers went real high because they are definitely two big-time threats up front. They can score with both feet. They got great speed. And better than anything, the desire to win the ball is just phenomenal. They want that ball. If it goes through, they're going to do whatever it takes to win that 50-50 ball. So this year, I think their numbers are going to be really good. I got, great faith in them. If we can get the ball to them, they're going to finish. That's the big difference this year. They got that first-year rookie, even though they're not really rookies, it's past them. So I think they'll be ready to go.
Thanks again, Coach, for making the trip up. We appreciate it. Thanks
Thank
to
you
young
for having
ladies.
us.
Appreciate it very much. Brooke and Melissa, and continued success to the Hanover Central Wildcats and that tough Northwest Indiana soccer conference. We want to thank Jim. He's been a terrific supporter of what we've been doing here at Regional Radio Sports, and the NWISC always presents its own share of challenges. So we again want to thank them for coming up and sharing their story as they get set for another season here on the pitch in Northwest Indiana, which is going to be a very competitive 2014 season. And we are going to continue on right now, and we are going to bring on Morgan Township. The Cherokees are going to join us here as Steve Coates and the Lady Cherokees are going to join us here. And Coach, thanks for taking the time and coming up, and how are things going for you right now this summer?
Oh, so far so good. It's been a nice, not hot
yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a huch deal for the student athletes not to have to deal with the heat and humidity as much.
Yes, it's been very nice. And after the first week of the summer, we started practicing in the morning, so it really benefits us. There's obviously been a few warm, humid days, but overall, I've got no complaints about the weather this summer.
The situation out in Porter County, of course, with the PCC now having a girls' conference to compete for, and you've been around the rec league for a long time and also involved with Washington Township's program. Discuss a little bit about the soccer in that geographical area with the smaller schools and how they've been able to incorporate soccer and compete.
Well, it's obviously a little bit more difficult for the smaller schools. We just don't have the volume, the bodies that the larger schools have. In fact, I'm really impressed with the way Coach Schwartz does it at Couts. I mean, we scrimmaged them this year, and they've got 20 girls, maybe even a couple more than that, and that is just so impressive. But ours is just a second-year program, so last year we were a club team. We had, I think, 13 girls in the team, and this year we'll have 15, 16, so we're growing a little bit. I've talked to Coach Goodacre at Washington Township, and they've got 14, 15 also. And it's just a little bit more difficult, especially when the program is young, to get a lot of the girls to come out. Because although we do have some girls that are very inexperienced, I think a lot of girls that might otherwise try out feel like, oh, I don't know it well enough, I don't want to try out. And so they don't. Where in a small school, we want everybody to try out. And not even try out, you make the team. You just come, play, and learn the game and learn to love the game, and we'll have fun doing it.
How difficult is that to not have a JV and not being able to scrimmage each other and learn from your mistakes on a day-by-day basis in practice?
During when the official practices start, like now, it's not that big a deal because we have 14, 15, and so we can do short-sided scrimmages, things like that. But during the summer, when you've only got 6, 7, 3, 4, girls showing up at practice, that makes it a lot more difficult. So if we did have 20, 22, then during the summer we could get more girls to have, again, maybe some short-sided scrimmages. But I don't mind it too much.
Gives you more one-on-one, which is
it
a
does
positive.
that. Last year, because I was coaching the boys last year too, and fortunately last year the boys did have 20 plus kids coming out, and at times that was difficult. I don't know how Coach Schwartz does it.
Oh, I don't either. I was talking to Ben Daniel about that, and I was just shaking my head.
He did it last year. I did it last year. I'm like, never again. I can't do that. It's too much. And so Tim's a good coach and good guy, and so he does a great job at Couts. And I'm hoping to emulate his program in the respect that their program's only in their third or fourth year, and they got 20 girls. So maybe in our third or fourth year, we'll also have 20-plus girls. And, once they get to know it and love it, a lot of them will start, playing club ball and doing things like that, and that'll obviously improve the talent of the teams. And right now, he's, of the three small schools with Morgan, Washington, and Couts, his program is by far the best at this time.
Introduce the two young ladies to my immediate right, your expectations for them, and why you selected two juniors to represent this program tonight.
Well, as far as selecting the two juniors, it's pretty easy. We don't have any seniors. so that made life real easy. We did have a senior, but unfortunately at the small schools, you could play multiple sports, and she was playing volleyball, which is her first sport, and come to find out that the volleyball and soccer schedules were like almost identical.
Yep.
She could only play 1 or 2 games for us, so she just quit. And I mean, with my blessing, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to do all this for 2 games. But the 2 girls that I brought with me, Lexi Borgia and Megan Bannock, are both the team captains. Again, juniors. We've got 5 or 6 girls this year. They're juniors, so we'll have definitely a senior-laden team next year. But I've got to know Megan through our rec league. And she's a very talented player, and she was a very obvious choice for me to make one of the team captains. And then during the club season last year, getting to know all the girls, got to know Lexi, and I thought that she would make a very good choice. And we let the players vote, and she was pretty much the choice, picked by the rest of the girls too. So made my life easy.
What's the Morgan Award? What's that about?
The Morgan Award?
Yeah, that's what Lexi won.
I'm not quite sure. Lexi, what is the Morgan Award?
Well, the Morgan Award is an award given to 2 boys and 2 girls out of the high school, out of all 4 grades. It's for achieving academic excellence and also being a well-rounded student, being able to communicate well with others, and just kind of being, overall enjoyable, I suppose. I don't know.
Having that balance, right, between
exactly.
What you're doing for coach here, as well as your teachers and the different expectations they have for you. What's it like for a student athlete? You're a multiple sport athlete, playing both soccer as well as track and field, to go to a smaller school and be in a situation where you're going to be on the field quite a bit. You're not going to get a lot of rest as you're playing. What's that like, and the pressure that goes with that?
Well, I just look to my teammates to kind of help me get through it, and they definitely cheer me on. I get some support from my co-captain here. She definitely lifts me up when I need it. Being from a small school, I feel closer knit to the rest of my fellow students, and it just makes it easier when we all know each other.
Megan is also a co-captain, as her teammate Lexi talked about. And what does that mean to you, Megan, to be voted a captain by your peers and coach entrusting that role to you as a captain of this team?
Well, it means a lot because they voted for me, so because they can trust me, and I can teach them how to learn their skills better, and I lead them and during the team.
What's it been like for you to do some credit through PNC? I know a lot of the students now at the high school level are able to do that, to take advantage of that situation, to go to a college and learn a little bit about what it's going to be like at the next level. And how's that been advantageous for you?
Well, this is going to be my first year taking a dual credit class, so I'm hoping it'll benefit me a lot to be able to take a college course and help me get ready for what college classes are going to really be like.
Where does Coach have you penciled in right now? Does he have you in a particular spot, or is he going to kind of move you around a little bit on the pitch?
He has me playing center mid.
And what's that going to be like for you? How you were working with your classmates in the midfield, and obviously getting that ball up to the strikers. It's a very important role.
Yeah, I've been helping them learn how to move the ball, teaching them how to teaching them how it's okay to drop the ball to me, and telling my players to go out wide so I can send them across to the corner so that they can get across in.
What's Lexi going to have to do to help you guys win some soccer matches this year?
She's going to have to be my second role model for the team, because she knows what she's doing on the field, and even that we tell each other what to do, and so we basically just talk to each other to get the team to know what they have to do.
One at a time, Lexi, first of all, what would make this season successful for you and the Cherokees?
Well, this season would be successful for me if we could communicate more effectively on the field. We definitely need to have our voices be heard out there. It's a little intimidating when we have to play up against these bigger schools, but we can show them what we've got. So I think once we get our voices heard out there, we can be 10 times better.
And how about you, Megan?
I think we have to work well together. We have to be able to click on the field, be able to connect our passes, know what we have to do in certain situations.
And, Coach, the schedule, you've got Covenant Christian starting it off on the road. Your first two away before you host Couts in a very big PCC matchup along with Washington Township. Your expectations for this group as they head into 2014?
Our athletic director, Huffman, he's done a very good job in getting us a schedule that, it's a type of schedule whereby trying to check out all the teams we played before and looking at the records and stuff. Are we going to win every game? No. But are we going to get blown out of any games? Probably not. Because he's done a good job of trying to make it competitive for us. He's smart enough to know that we're a new team and we don't want to be playing Valpo.
Right.
That would not be good. So the first game, Covenant Christian, last year, we lost to them 4-3. We were a club team. It was back and back. They scored, we scored. They scored, we scored. Well, they scored last. But we were fortunate enough to beat Westville last year. We were competitive with Couts. I think we'll be competitive with a lot of the teams we play this year. Just hopefully we'll win a few.
Thanks for taking the time, Steve.
Hey, thank you guys
appreciate
for inviting
it very much.
us. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Small schools need more pub.
Absolutely. Anytime,
right.
Coach.
Thanks.
Steve Coates joining us again. Thanks again, ladies, for taking the time and coming out. And they will be battling again in the PCC coming up this season with the Couts Phillies, as well as the Washington Township Senators and some of the other teams, the Hebron Hawks, also part of that PCC situation. So we are certainly going to be watching them as they move on here in the PCC. And we're going to continue on as we've got two coaches coming on with us here from the Lowell Red Devils on the boys' side of things. And Brian and Antonio are going to join us, as Zach Kerr is also going to come and join us as well, coming into his particular senior season. And let me make sure I get this right. Brian, is it Celez? Okay, I got it right. Good job. And make sure you get your microphone there, Brian. And Brian Celez, the new head coach over at Lowell High School, is going to join us. Yeah, go ahead and put the headset on there, Coach, and the microphone. And I know you're very excited about this group. You got a large returning group of kids coming back from the team from last year, and I know you're also very excited about the work ethic of this group of kids. So talk about them.
Yeah, these kids, I mean, it's been incredible this season. We've asked a whole lot from these guys. I mean, it's probably, 2-3 times as many practices as they've done before. And percentage-wise, attendance, I mean, all summer long, it's been upper 90% of everything. Everybody showing up, everybody putting in the work. Incredible. These guys motivate each other. They challenge each other. They push themselves. It's just been really great to watch this season.
Noah Newcomb, captain and first-team conference player, moving on to play over at Wabash College with the Little Giants. How big is it for the kids that are still in the program to see Noah advance now to college and continue on with his education and see his success?
I think Noah was big with a lot of these guys. I think everybody kind of looked up to Noah, and he really helped kind of push these guys themselves. So I think that's something nice to see one of our players go on and achieve something pretty good with himself.
So besides the two young men that you brought out here tonight, who else has been opening your eyes in the preseason training as well as some of your off-season games?
We actually have a lot of players that have been kind of opening up with us. We've had, again, like 12 returning seniors this year that are pretty much all varsity starters. So it's going to be I feel like it's really coming into a good season that we're going to have up ahead of us.
Give us an idea about your background, coming into the program for the first time and taking over, and some of the adjustments that you've had to make now being a previous player in different levels of play and now becoming the head coach.
Well, coming into this program, I was coaching at Lowell previously for a couple of years, so I've kind of had the ability to already watch these guys kind of grow and see them progress throughout. And, just watching them to begin with, they look great. I feel they're great. I feel like they move very well off the ball. It's looked beautiful to begin with, and I think we got like a great base to work off of when we started up here.
Antonio Gomez, to my immediate right, is also on the staff as well here, and Coach mentioning that you're pretty much on the field, his not only right-hand man, but kind of a co-coach on the sidelines. And what have you seen, Antonio, so far in the preseason that's got you excited about this group?
The team unity, especially. These guys they've known each other for the past 4 years, especially the seniors being together, and they've been through so much, and the excitement, how much excited they are for this season, and they're trying to change what they did from, being an 0-16 season last year. They want to change it, and they want to have a winning season this year.
Now, how do you change that mindset? You could have better talent, but you still got to overcome that mental aspect of the game and being able to get that. And I would imagine just getting that first W, that's got to be the huge thing to get that monkey off the back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're looking forward to Couts for our last scrimmage for the summer, and we feel like that's going to be our turning point. After that, I know that we're going to go in hard right away against Munster, being our first game of the season. And I know that we have definitely a couple games that we could win, at least 9 games that we could beat. I don't see why not that we could do that, especially winning conference. I think we're going to be the dark horse.
Brian, let's talk a little bit about the 2 student athletes that you brought over here this evening. Introduce them and let us know where they're going to be on the pitch and what your expectations are for them this year.
Okay, the guy sitting right next to me here, that's Zach Herr. He's going to be our varsity keeper this season. Definitely, high expectations. No doubt, hardest worker we have. He's there every day. Great leader, great motivator for everybody. Over on this side here, we got Brandon Smith. He's pretty much that center mid position. He's great foot skills, great, control in that center of the game. And again, he's another one. We got somebody slacking behind. He's that first person out there to go back on after he's done and try to push them and try to help them finish any runs we do, anything like that. Encouragement all around with these guys.
Pass the microphone to your right over to Zach Herr, who's doing a great job in the classroom as well with a 3.8. And Zach, how frustrating was it last season to go through that NWCC conference, the meat grinder, and also the tough non-conference schedule? And what can you do to use that as a motivating factor for this year?
Well, every little bit of it's motivating. We did really bad last year, and you would think it'd bring you down during the season. But this year, all we want to do is win. It's the only thing on our minds. We only want to play hard. We only want to do good, and everybody on the team's thinking the same way. We really have high hopes for this year.
Analyze your progress as a keeper. What have been some of the things that you've had to learn as a keeper, coming out, staying in, and also the communication that you have with your back four?
Really, I started from not knowing anything, and Coach Gomez here has taught me everything that I need to know, and really, I have the support of my defense always. I know I can trust them, I know they're there, and I know I can always look for them when I need some help, so it's a good bond.
How many shootouts have you been involved with before, and is that something you look forward to, or is it one of those things you kind of, it's kind of a little bit of trepidation?
Well, as far as how many I've been in, not many. A couple, but not many, and I think they're fun. they're challenging and frustrating, but they're definitely something to learn from, and I'm excited. I can't wait.
Let's bring on Brandon Smith now as well. Also another great job in the classroom at 3.9, Brandon, and second-team all-conference performer, second-year captain for this team. What does it mean to you to be recognized as a leader on this team as a captain?
Well, I mean, it's always helpful to be looked up as, and for other people to know that they can look up to me for help and anything they need on or off the field. It's a pretty good feeling.
Besides Zach over here, who's kind of stepped up in preseason, you guys got a long list of guys coming back. Who's really opened up your eyes that could possibly help you in that offensive position where you're trying to distribute the ball?
Well, actually, we have a lot of people that can help because, like, me and Zach came out of a group that the coaches created, the leadership group that started to see who could possibly be captains. And every single one of those people in that group has the ability to lead, has the ability to do anything in any position that we could put them anywhere. I know Michael Dewis, he's one of the strikers up top, and Kyle Kometz, he can be moved to any position. He plays wing back and center attacking mid with me, and either of them can really move the ball well.
Offensive mid's a blast, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Describe that a little bit to the viewers as far as being able to see everything in front of you developed as you're going up and down the pitch.
It's a feeling like no other. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but when goals are scored, that you can't compare that to anything. And not only the goals being scored, but watching the goals scored, it's just like butterflies in my stomach. Like the build up to the play, even just starting from the keep, going up to the defense, through the midfield, around possession for however long it takes to score the goal. It's a great feeling to see.
Well, Brian, you got two great representatives for the program here that are going to help you guys win some soccer matches this season. And start off, as you mentioned, with a tough road to hoe. You're going to be on the road against Munster and Bishop Knoll. But you know what they say, you have to play the best to be the best. So talk about this group and your expectations and goals for 2014.
Again, goals for 2014, change the numbers on paper. That's our main goal, I think. And these guys, no doubt it's going to happen. Like I said before, Red Devils on paper and the Red Devils on the field, completely different team. And I think this season we're really going to kind of change that. I'm glad we start with Munster, honestly. It's probably going to be one of our hardest games this season. But it's also that, it's that game where if we beat it, it's going to carry us through. And, I'm excited.
Well, Coach, we are going to be with you at home on August the 28th. Hebron has stepped up to support their team, and I know you gave me a lot of support as well, so I'm going to be contacting those folks, but we are going to be at your place on August the 28th for a broadcast. So,
all right, looking forward to it.
Yeah, you can talk to Patty, and I'll talk to her as well, but we're going to be out there and following you guys, and we'll get you some publicity as well.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate give our best to Patty and everybody over at Lowell High School. So we're getting down here to the ground stretch now as we're going to continue on here with the 21st annual installment of the preseason soccer show here on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports. Our soccer schedule is going to be posted here coming up in the near future as we are going to continue on and move to the girls' side of things and bring on Sean Thomas and the girls program over at Lake Central, and we'll also kind of go with the boys here as well, as the girls coach is going to join us here. Anthony Dureski and Kyle Kill is going to join us here. And Sean, thanks for stepping in with the boys here. And I know that the record was not what Jeremy wanted last season, but you had a nice run in the postseason to kind of correct that. Just a ton of injuries and things you guys had to overcome. And if anything, like the old saying, one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity, right?
Well, we've had a couple seasons where we've had really young talent coming up. Since our state title in 2010, we had a couple down years where we had lower numbers at those classes, so we kind of knew that bubble was coming. We lost four seniors last year, and I think we will only lose 5 this year. So those younger classes are really strong, and they're moving up, and these guys are going to have to really guide the way for them this season. So I think that they're ready. I think that this season could be really strong, and looking at the next season, I think the sky's the limit for the boys. So
no doubt about that, and I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword that you had to go through all those growing pains with this group of kids, a lot of freshmen that were thrown into very difficult situations. You know, you're playing a Dublin Athletic Conference and having to have that high level of competition. How do you think those sophomores now were helped by that situation going through those difficult times?
Well, sometimes you want to be able to bring them along slower, right? Mm-hmm. Give them a chance to learn the system, learn what you're looking for. They can get it at a little bit slower pace in JV, where you're playing the state champions in Crown Point, and then you play Chesterton and Valpo. These teams are full speed all the time. They're everybody very athletic teams. So throwing a 14-year-old in there is you're asking an awful lot, and I think they answered the call, and they're going to be stronger for it this season. You know, you obviously had to take their lumps last year, so.
They did, and only one senior graduating from the back line and one in the left midfield position for you. Everybody else coming back for the most part.
Right. Who
besides these two young men have really opened your eyes, in Jeremy's eyes, in the preseason?
Well, a lot of these kids play together in club, and as I watch the show all day today, most of the coaches are talking the same. You're seeing these kids play year-round now.
Mm-hmm.
So the talent is really high. So when you're in the summer months and you're trying to figure out who makes the team, who doesn't, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made, really tough decisions with all the talent that's coming up. So for these two guys, when you look at who else is really going to stand out, George Trujillo in goal is going to be one of the best goalies in the conference, if not in the state. He really stands out for us, and we have a plethora of sophomores that are going to step in and be able to play at that varsity level, and I think that they can compete with anybody.
Yeah, George with 3 shutouts last year, goals against under 2 in 17 games with only 32 goals allowed for a defense that was kind of patchwork throughout the year. And one of those defenders was Kyle, and he's going to join us right now. And Kyle, give us your thoughts on this team, who you got coming back, and a pretty much a veteran core coming back from last year. And how difficult was it to go through that situation last year?
Oh, yeah, well, this year I feel like we have a really strong team. And yeah, I definitely expect to go pretty far into the postseason. And like you said, last year was pretty rough with all the injuries. We had probably 10 different kids injured at different times. So yeah, it was just like a mix of different players in all the positions at any given time. So
the Chicago Fire Juniors, Northwest Indiana, what was that like playing for them, and how do you think that's going to help you out win games in that tough DAC this year?
I think it's going to help us a lot, or me a lot, because this spring we made it all the way to the state finals, but we lost because we lost by 1 goal because the game got called at half because there was a bunch of kids fighting and everything, but
so it got pretty intense out there, huh?
Yeah, it was rough.
Well, that'll get you prepared for the Dumoulin, that's for sure. How do you see things shaping up in the back with George as well as your teammates?
I think we have a really strong defense, actually, because now we're playing this 3-5-3, so we're more of an attacking-based team, but or a 3-5-2, yeah. But we're more of an attacking-based team, but our defense is pretty strong, so I think we could pull it off.
Anthony Dureski is going to join us as well. Great soccer family over there in the Lake Central School District 3.2. Doing a little boxing as well as MMA. Talk about that a little bit, Anthony. That's got to toughen you up a little bit.
Well, yeah, no, and I'm the only boy. I couldn't really fight with my sisters, so my parents put me in that to protect them and stuff, and it was a good anger thing. So I've been doing that for about 4 years. And then I stopped recently because I got injured last year. I was out for more than half the season with my ankle, and this year I'm back and ready to play.
Talk about that transition and going through that experience of going through an injury and getting your condition back up.
Well, it was hard. I had to be out of shape. I was out of shape for a while, and then I came back and I just been going at it, trying to get myself back to normal, and now I'm feeling 110%.
Now this program has been very used to success throughout the years, and to go through a 5-9-3 season, and you had a nice run in the tournament there as well. But how difficult was that from a mental adjustment to go from, state championship team, perennial powerhouse, to all the injuries and all the negative things that were going on around you guys?
It was hard to stand on the sidelines and watch it, but I mean, we all stood together as a team and we overcame it. And this year we're back and we're ready to show people that last year was just a fluke, and we're ready and we're going to be stronger this year and show everybody what we got.
Your goals personally as well as for the team as you head into your junior year, Anthony?
Is just to be strong, not get injured, and be a good team leader and help our team go far.
Have you guys done anything to try to maybe, I know you can't prevent injuries all the time, but have you changed things around a little bit as far as your preseason conditioning to try to maybe stay a little bit healthier?
If I feel my ankle starting to kill me, coach is like, just take it easy, lets me slow it down a little bit, and then I go at my own pace at times, and it's a good transition. I mean, sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it doesn't.
Fun soccer family, the Dureskis. I know you guys have had a lot of success throughout the years.
It's pretty hard keeping up with all my sisters and how much success they've had.
Yeah, they're doing a great. I know one's in college right now, right? Playing at IUPUI, or
yeah, she just finished, and then the other one's at IUN.
IUN, right?
Yep.
Well, very good. So, what would make your junior year successful, Anthony? Not only you, but Kyle, as well as the rest of your teammates.
To get out of sectionals, regionals, and go to semi-state, and hopefully get to state.
Outstanding. Well, Sean, great job by these two young men, and I know there's a lot of expectations this particular season. And tell us a little bit as we give you a wrap-up now about the Indiana-Kentucky Challenge, which is going to be taking place. I don't know if you know a lot about that, but who's going to be on the dais on that one?
We've been down there the last few years, and I didn't give a little bit of a background, but I've been coaching with Jeremy since 2010, and Coach Rainwater is just, for this summer, has put these guys through a really great training session, really great conditioning. I think he's got them ready, and they understand going into this conditioning that they're playing against bigger kids every time.
Mm-hmm.
There's never going to be a time, so the soccer just has to be that much better. The Indiana-Kentucky Challenge, it's been really a good experience for us. We get down there and play some of the top teams in Kentucky, and then you get a little bit of a taste outside of your norm.
Right.
So it's a good change of pace, and you get to meet some new coaches, make some new channels, as far as keeping up with the soccer families, as making the soccer family larger. So I've enjoyed it when we've been down there, and we've had some really good challenges. So it's a good tournament for the kids, but we get off to a breakneck start with the season, and then you get into that Indiana-Kentucky Challenge, and you can really it really sets a pace for how you're going to finish the season. So.
On the road against defending state champion Crown Point, at South Bend St. Joseph's, at Highland to start the season. You guys will be tournament tested tough,
and
no doubt.
I think it's in 5 days or something like that, right? So we're 5 or 7 days we have those games back to back to back. So staying healthy is certainly big, and I think they're prepared. So they know what's expected of them, and they've set high expectations for themselves, and trying to meet Coach Rainwater's expectations, obviously. So,
thanks for filling in for Jeremy. Sean,
got
appreciate it.
No
we'll
problem.
bring on the two young ladies here, and thanks again, Anthony and Kyle. Appreciate your time, and best of luck to the Indians and the Dumoulin Athletic Conference. And we are finally going to conclude the 21st installment as we're going to bring on the Lady Indians from Lake Central High School are going to join us here, and we've heard a lot of good things about the Indians from Lake Central this particular season. A lot of expectations now as they head into the 2014 season, and also another challenging schedule for Coach Thomas. And Coach, first of all, congratulations on getting the position with the girls program over there, and fellow Morton governor, so that's always a good thing to talk about. But let's discuss a little bit about the appointment and the adjustment now from being on the staff to actually the guy running the whole show.
Right. I listened to the show earlier. Listened to some other coaches that had taken over, and they're exactly right. I mean, when you're just part of the staff, you're really just focused on the soccer, focused on the training, doing what coach wants you to do, to help him. And taking over, now you have to worry about the administrative and the parents and the AD and getting all the jerseys ready and the fundraising, and it really adds up. So it's challenging, but I really enjoy it. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and it's a situation where you're coming into a program that's had a lot of success in the past, a lot of history, going all the way back to, to the days when I was covering back in the mid-'90s and going to semi-states year in and year out. And your thoughts about inheriting a program that has had such great success in the past?
Well, it's a Moore legacy, really, right? I mean, if you look at it, going back to Richard Moore and then now Julie, so they have a pretty high bar set. Talking about a program that has 16 sectionals, I think the second most in the state.
Yep.
And you inherit that. Sectionals is expected, let alone trying to do anything beyond that. So anything short of that really would be considered a failure at that point. So
6 seniors on this team. A lot of them had some significant playing time, but a lot of youngsters also got action as well last season. So as you take a look, besides the 2 young ladies that you brought out here this evening, who else has opened up your eyes in the preseason drills that is going to have to step up and make plays for this program?
Yeah, so adding to that list, we actually have 9 seniors this season, and with that, 2 that came back were Tara Hamby and Alicia Donovan. So they're immediately impact players for us. One plays striker, and then Donovan can just do whatever she wants with a soccer ball. And in the midfield, she's really just a dynamic player who is a threat every time she touches the ball. So adding those 2 makes my life a lot easier. We've added a lot of depth, so this season is really, high expectations within camp and high expectations outside obviously puts a lot of pressure. So,
introduce these 2 student athletes, both obviously doing a great job. They're both academic all-state performers. That's unbelievable.
Well, coming into the summer, obviously I had a little bit of a learning curve, and I had to get to know the team, and they had to get to know me, right? So Abigail Pepin here, she's been a fantastic leader. I haven't talked about captains on my team, and I won't. But I will talk about leaders, and Abigail's one of those. The younger players really look up to her, and we have a handful of those. So I had to pick 2, right? So, and then Jill Doan, also a fantastic leader on the team. She comes out there. They are focused. They're both focused players. They're focused in training. They're ready to take this team to the next level, and you can see it every day in practice. So I'm excited.
Abigail Pepin is going to join us right now, also a member of the 3 Lions Football Club, and also second-team All-District and honorable mention as well. Multiple sport athlete, Abigail. How does track help you with the rigors that you undergo during the soccer season?
Coming from track and going straight into preseason for soccer really keeps my endurance up. So it helps me just stay more conditioned, but coming out of track, I still take that little break. So I still lose a lot of it, but it definitely has my endurance up high. 2
different coaches in 2 years, so there's obviously, a lot of challenges there as far as adapting to different styles and different techniques and formations and philosophies. How's the transition been for you?
It's really good. Sean's a really good coach. He's really adapted to us and has helped us out a lot and just got us more comfortable with each other, and it's been pretty good.
What does Julian do on the pitch that makes you guys successful, and what do you think she's going to have to do this year to continue that success?
She is our offensive midfielder in the center, so she helps control more of the offensive while I'm more defensive, and it helps keep us connected together, while if I'm controlling the defense, she'll help control the forwards, and it just helps a lot with us staying connected.
Jillian, that role, keeping everybody connected, do you do that kind of by example, or is it more a vocal situation where you're saying, hey, you got to be in this place at this particular time? What are you comfortable with from a leadership standpoint?
I actually I don't know, it's kind of both. I guess people do look up to me since I'm in the middle, and I kind of just feed the ball to everyone, and it's like goes through Abby to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely do talk a lot on the field, and I always try to tell the forwards, like, if they're in a wrong position, because it's a different formation. But I think we've adapted well to it, and I don't really have to say anything, and they kind of just know it now.
How comfortable are you being in a leadership role now, going through the program here? This is your 4th season now. You've been through all the rigors as you've gone up from an underclassman to now being a senior. And what responsibility that you see for yourself in showing those younger players what needs to be done to be successful?
I feel comfortable being in this position as a senior. I feel like it's my job, and then I feel like it's easy because I have Abby and then the other seniors, so they just help me out, and I feel like the season will be easy going.
Yeah, they got to be pretty excited about this group, huh?
Yes, I think we'll go far.
And let's talk a little bit about the exploits on the gridiron. You knew I couldn't go without talking a little bit about that. I know there was a lot of publicity about it. And what was it like for you to be out there competing and playing for Coach St. Germain?
It is definitely way different than soccer, but it was a great experience, and I am so excited to do it this year too. But it's definitely different than soccer. And
Coach obviously gives you the blessing to share time and get over there and kick a little bit and get it through the goalpost. Well, you got to be pretty excited, Sean, with this group of kids, with the 2 kids coming back into the program as well. How do you see the DAC shaping up, and what should be a very interesting year?
Well, the DAC is obviously, I'm watching earlier, and you see Chesterton, Valpo, Crown Point. It's just relentless, and there's always going to be tough games. Chris has been a great help with me getting started, even though the Crown Point's are Green Bay Packers, right? So
the old Lake Suburban days. I mean, that goes back 30 years, 40 years.
They're our rivals, but Val at Munster was a huge help, and they've been really inviting to me, just trying to talk to me a little bit about the difference between transitioning from training boys to training girls and some of the things. So they've really been trying to help me. Quick story: my very first day, I had my training plan lined out. I'm a little bit nervous. The girls are nervous to meet me. I want to really knock them dead, right? And I'm standing there talking to Coach Rainwater, and one of the girls runs over and said, "Coach, you got a Band-Aid?" I'm like, I'm looking for injuries. Like, no, I don't have a Band-Aid. She's like, I broke a nail. And so right away, and I thought she was messing with me. Like I'm 30 seconds into this, and she's telling me about a broken nail. So that was kind of my
indoctrination.
Yeah, that was my baptism right there. So, but yeah, with DAC, I don't think there's an easy game on the schedule, and I was even talking to Chris a little bit about it. I hate the fact that we open with Crown Point, because I'd like to build up to that game instead of out the door trying to. It's going to be a rivalry right off the get-go. So they have a great team. We got a chance to play them a little bit in the summer, and they're going to be a threat. And all we can do is go out as hard as we can. The girls have trained hard and they're ready. So
yeah, and the Indian Invite is obviously no slouch either, going out to South Bend to play schools from all over the state.
Yeah, so you're looking at teams out there. South Bend St. Joe obviously has a fantastic coach, and they're a perennial powerhouse. And you're looking at some really tough teams out there. I think Munster's going with that group, or going with that tournament as well.
Chesterton, I think, may be going out there. I'm not sure. And then, of course, I know Carmel's come up before, and
it's a great experience, and it's a great level of soccer. So that it gives you a good measuring stick, looking at what you might be able to accomplish going into the postseason.
Well, we're looking forward to covering you guys. The Cherville Soccer Club has stepped up, and a couple of our other partners, so we'll definitely be with you at least one game, if not more. And we're looking forward to covering the student-athletes over at Lake Central High School, Coach.
Look forward to having you.
Thanks very much, Sean. Thanks very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All the best.
Thank you.
8 hours. We're finally done. Unbelievable. Another year in the books here at Hallmark Sports Club 2. Again, thanks go out to all the folks that called in for our trivia contest with the Chicago Fire. We'll make sure we get those tickets out to everybody. Again, thanks go out to Peter Hayes Herring along with Coach Justin Olson, the head coach for both the boys, the men's and women's programs over at Calumet College of St. Joseph's. It's your university of choice. Region home for Crimson Wave Athletics. Men's and women's soccer, cross country, volleyball, and CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams will be in full action during the fall season. Follow all 18 Crimson Wave teams year-round by going to www.crimsonwaveathletics.com. Special thanks go out to JJ's Pizza Shack for feeding all the student-athletes as well as our crew throughout the day as well as in the evening. And thanks to Pat Doherty for picking up the pie all day long. We want to thank him for doing that. Again, thanks go out to Scott Hankins, Jason Kandera, and the staff over here at Hallmark Sports Club 2. It's your soccer home for the winter. They operate indoor soccer leagues for kids, teens, and adults from October through April. League registration opens on September the 15th, with adult leagues starting October the 16th, and youth and high school leagues starting November 1st weekend. See the Hallmark Sports Club 2 website for details at www.hallmarksportsclub2.com. Hallmark remains Northwest Indiana soccer hub through your off season, so get in here and play. Special thanks go out to Winey Insurance, our corporate sponsor for Chesterton Athletics, for helping us out with the Golden Trojan segment. Also, thanks go out to FC Revolution for our sponsor of our Hebron Hawks segment, as well as Ziggy. We're looking forward to following the Hawks this season as they take on the Lowell Red Devils over at the Inferno. And also, we want to thank the Chicago Fire Soccer Club for their terrific support in helping us to be able to give away the tickets. Don't miss your chance to get your fix of live Major League Soccer this year. The Chicago Fire Soccer Club has just 6 home games remaining in the 2014 season. See the men in red take on Thierry Henry and Tim Cahill's New York Red Bulls coming up tomorrow, August the 10th, and against FC Dallas on Saturday, August the 30th. Tickets are available by calling 888-MLS-FIRE or go online to chicago-fire.com. The Chicago Fire live at Toyota Park in Bridgeview. For Adam Demery, along with Pat Doherty and Tony Miller, this is Mike Knezovich saying so long from Hallmark Sports Club 2 in Maryville. You've been watching and listening to the 21st Annual High School Boys and Girls Soccer Preview Show live here on RRSN.com and the Regional Radio Sports Network, your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. God bless America. God bless you all. Have a safe and wonderful evening, everybody. So long from Maryville.